Hey, Iyo!
Okay, so you mentioned ideology a while ago. Part of the
Yep.
mice model. If you're gonna choose people in your ticket, you have to align with the same message, same values, same. But I guess just have a decent relationship with the
Well,
other, diba?
values, I think, is the best word, Iyo. You're right. Values yan.
Values.
Oh, values.
So I wanna get to, I guess, the broader political context now because, frankly enough, our politics is dominated, or national politics at least right now is dominated by two major families, and these two major families, the Marcoses and the Dutertes, they came
Correct.
together in 2022 as a, I'd like to believe, as a tactical alliance to win
You're
for
being so
office.
kind. Wow, you're being so kind to call it a tactical alliance.
And mukhang they forgot about the eye. Mukhang they forgot about so many things.
In fact, like I said, you're being kind, no? Calling that a tactical alliance, you're being such a kind guy. You're a pure soul. The better term for that is really transactional. That was a
Transact. Oo.
transactional alliance from the start. You scratch my back,
Mhm.
I'll scratch yours. Afterwards, let's walk in different directions. And tignan niyo nga nangyari. When you're not rooted in that ideology, ganyan talaga mangyayari. Ganyan talaga
Oo.
mangyayari.
Okay. So, like, when we're dealing with that conflict, um we saw a lot of this conflict, progress from 2022 to 2025. There's a lot of chismis na early in the during the
Yeah.
2022 election pa, but now it's just blown up.
Yep.
And then you had the election just recently in May. To what extent was this 2025 election an inflection point for this conflict? Or I guess in general, just the broader political landscape. Like, where does the Marcos Duterte conflict go after this election, and maybe through an impeachment in the question?
Siguro the best way to unbox that question would be to just really take it as winners and losers.
Okay.
I think the main loser in this 2025 election is really the admin.
Okay.
After the midterm elections, regardless of how your candidates fare, the
Mm-hmm.
natural normal tendency for a sitting incumbency government
Oh.
is really to become what you call a lame duck
Mm-hmm.
administration. Kasi
Oh.
politicians being politicians, they're already looking at the next election and already jostling for position um, to try to get themselves perpetuated in office and in power. So
Okay.
that's a natural tendency kasi may term limit tayo. Alam mong
Oh.
3 years na lang yan nakaupo, umaanggulo
Oh.
ka na. Di ba?
Oh.
Umaanggulo ka na. Parang traffic lang yan eh. Alam mo na
Yep.
the road closes, you're trying to shift already. So
Mm-hmm.
the big loser here is really the admin because apart from that, my goodness, how sad. The last time we saw this was Gloria Macapagal Arroyo when
Mm-hmm.
midterm she only had two candidates who made it.
Yes.
This
The
election,
team
if you're
unity.
going, yeah, team unity. This election, if you're really gonna be strict about it, ilang mo pinanalo ng alyansa? If you're really gonna be strict, ha?
Oh. So there's a
Baka,
Tulfo.
is he really an
Is
alyansa?
he really alian? Parang he won more
That's a
because he was a
sticker
Tulfo.
label.
Eh.
That's a sticker label. That's a
Oo.
sticker label, di ba? The guy is a fully formed, fully developed political and public persona. Hindi naman
Yes,
yan
agree.
necessarily masasabi mong Marcos in the same way as masasabi mong si Bongo, si Bato at si Marcoleta Duterte.
Duterte.
Yon
Yep,
talaga
yep, yep.
creatures of
I see
Duterte
that. Yep.
yon, di ba?
Yep, yep.
Born,
Makes
crafted,
sense.
and built by Duterte. But
Oo.
Tulfo, hindi yan alyansa. Pia
Mhm.
Cayetano, my goodness, Cayetano yan. Di
Oo.
ba? Lito Lapid, holy cow, has been around since, si Lito Lapid yata
Lito
ang
Lapid
pumirma.
is just Lito Lapid.
Kaya tayong pumirma ng building permit ng pyramids, di ba? Ganon katanda na si Lito Lapid. Di ba?
Parang si Enrile din yun eh.
Exactly. So, again, you have to think, sa alyansa, ilan ba talaga nanalo? But if you're being kind, five. Sabihin mo ng
Mhm.
five. If you're being kind.
Yep.
You can't even, I mean, I'm even counting Camille Villar in that, in that equation. Di ba?
Oo.
Dapat mambilangin si Camille. When in fact, during midterms, the normal victory rate for an incumbency is 8 to 10. Ito 5.
Yes. Mhm.
Tapos none of them are really born and bred alyansa. And then
Oo.
immediately after, they made some really bad tactical missteps. I think BBM had that odd interview with Anthony Taberna where he's suddenly saying, I'm not opposed to making peace with the Dutertes.
Dede,
I
oo.
want to make peace with them. And then kino-opt niya yung linya ni VP Lenny sa gobyernong tapat.
Tapat.
Kasama
Kasama
lahat.
ang lahat.
No-opt niya. So, a position of weakness.
Oo.
I don't know why they did that, no? From a comms perspective. And then he had this cabinet revamp na
Oo.
saklap because lumalabas ngayon sa news, nobody wants to take the positions.
Oo.
PCO na lang, PCOO, Philippine Communications Office, si Jay Ruiz. Hindi nila mapalitan. In-offer na kung kani-kanino. Anthony Taberna publicly said no, di ba? Nagno-no sila lahat. So, it's not a
Oo.
good look. So, I think they were the biggest losers. Biggest winners for me, definitely the Dutertes.
Aha.
Definitely the Dutertes. I think Sara's impeachment is if I was a betting man, ayoko naman makipagpustahan. This might haunt me. This might age like milk. But I would think that her acquittal is almost a certainty. Considering the makeup of the Senate, I think she
Okay.
was able to flex her muscle to
Yeah.
get guys like Marcoleta in. My goodness. And to have uh, candidates like Jimmy Bondoc, Philip Salvador finish
Oo.
credibly. Iba yon.
Mhm. Yeah.
Nagpakita ka ng, you call that political muscle flexing. Nag-muscle flex ang Dutertes. And definitely the
Oo.
tide is in their favor.
Yes.
Uh, so that's the big winner. Ang mga net neutrals, what are the big stories? Is the emerging yellow, pink, genuine opposition as you phrased it. I think that's an emerging story. And I think the another big story on the net neutral side is really madali rin magsawa ang Pilipino.
Oo.
Nakakasawa. They apparently, for me, the writing is clear. The writing is on the wall. Pinoys have had enough of this endless,
Oo.
cyclical fight between the Marcoses and the Dutertes. And I think they just hunkered down and said, enough of this. Um, Run the government, for crying out loud. Find solutions for hunger,
Oo.
unemployment, education. Tama na to. Everyday na lang. Wala na kayong ginawa kundi mag-upakan. Uh,
Oo.
but, another point you made is, how
Oo.
do I foresee this playing out, itong rivalry na to? From all indications,
Oo.
uh, full steam ahead. Suddenly, they've recruited Congressman-elect Shell and Congresswoman-elect Laila to the prosecution panel. They're going all out. Hinuli si Arnie Teves today, kicking and screaming, di ba? Known Duterte ally Arnie Teves hinuli.
Oo.
They're turning the screws and on Harry Roque. Uh,
Mhm.
so let's see what will happen in this upcoming impeachment. Exciting yan. What a time to be alive.
Oo nga eh. I don't know if you wanna answer this next question, but then I wanna get your view on sino yung mag-a-acquit. Sino yung mga sure, syempre may mga sure acquittals, 'di ba? You have
On my list lang.
Oo.
On my list, sino sa tingin ko mag-a-acquit just so that I'm being accurate.
Oo.
Just so that I'm being accurate to what I think or what I think it will look like.
Oo.
I believe it will be to acquit. I
Okay.
think that Alan Peter Cayetano,
Ooh, okay. I mean,
Pia
he's been very
Cayetano,
vocal. Okay.
Bato de la Rosa,
Oh, of course.
Bongo,
Bongo, of course.
Dante Marcoleta,
Of course, of course.
Amy Marcos,
Mhm.
Robin Padilla,
Okay.
Camille Villar,
Okay.
and Mark Villar. That's 9.
Mm. Yun. So, yun.
Acquit yan, ha? Acquit.
Oo.
And don't forget, if you abstain, that's counted as acquit.
Oo. I see.
So
I
there might
see.
be some senators who will say, I don't want any of that, man. I want to be Switzerland. I want to play, but I'm gonna abstain.
Belgium.
Yeah, I want to be Belgium. So yan yung ang problema pag nag-abstain ka, that's counted as an acquit vote.
Oo. And
Maybe it's fine.
oo. Parang that's medyo risky siya for, let's say and I'm not gonna mention any specifics, but then let's just say it's for the stays.
Yep.
It's gonna be kind of tricky of a
Very,
situation.
very, very tricky.
Oo.
Very tricky. Yes.
Okay.
Kasi at the same time, you're forging alliances. You're trying
Yeah.
to be more pragmatic about your politics, and then you're given such an ideological crossroads.
Oo.
Na talagang yes or no lang yan eh. Kasi pag
Oo.
gumitna ka, maybe ka, the purists are going to smash you. Di
Oo.
ba? Pag nag-vote to acquit ka naman, sasabihin nila, ano ka, sasabihin ng mga forged alliances mo, traitor ka. May usapan tayo eh. So, tricky yan. That's why you and I are not politicians, Iyo.
Yeah, I'm not interested getting into that anytime soon.
But hey, man, I think, well, don't close the door on that, dude. Don't close the door on that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, right, maybe for this year, parang no, maybe even 2028, like, well, I'm gonna stick to business.
Yep, that's a smart play, young man.
Or help my titos Bam Aquino and Alan Herman as a political strategist
The one,
intern.
that's the one. That's the one. That's the one. Eyes on the ground,
Oh.
ears on the ground, di ba? For
Oh.
SBA, at least keep him grounded.
Hey there, thanks for watching the highlights of the Hey Eiyo podcast. If you enjoyed, why don't you like this video and subscribe to my channel? You may also watch the full episode by clicking the clip in the middle.